Hello and welcome to the next chapter of the EHE Fast Growth podcast series, now in vodcast form. I'm Simon Landy, the CMO at EHE, and I'm going to be your host on this series. And before I introduce today's guests, I just wanted to tell you a little bit more about EHE, where entrepreneurs help entrepreneurs. At EHE, we don't just talk about building tech businesses, we actually do build tech businesses. We build them, we invest in them, and we advise and support them every step of the way. This series is your backstage pass to our Venture Studio, where bold ideas meet the funding, strategy, and expertise they need to scale fast. In every episode, we'll share how we identify opportunities, how we're going to support founders, and create ventures that are designed to grow and succeed. Whether you're an investor looking for exciting AI deal flow, an entrepreneur looking to grow your idea, a partner firm supporting the startup and early stage ecosystem, or you're just curious about what drives fast growth businesses, you're in the right place. No fluff, no buzzwords, well, not many buzzwords, just clear, actionable insights from the people making it happen. Welcome to the EHE Fast Growth Podcast, the Venture Studio way.
Hi, welcome back to Fast Growth, the Venture Studio way. If you're a founder, at some point, if you haven't already, you're going to have to pitch for investment. And let's be honest, fundraising is tough, and so is pitching. Even I've done my fair share of pitching over the past 20 years or so, and it can be both soul-destroying and exhilarating. So you've got a tiny window to convince investors why your startup is the one to back. And it all starts with the killer pitch deck. But here's the problem. There's so much conflicting advice out there. Some people say keep it to 10 slides. Others say go deep on data. Some investors want a compelling story. Others just want to see the numbers. So what actually works? Well, there's no better way to start than to help them get two guys here from EHE to help them break all that down. They've seen hundreds of pitch decks, probably hundreds in the last 12 months or so. And they know exactly what makes a startup stand out and what makes investors hit next. First up, we've got Neil Vose, venture partner at EHE. And alongside him is Jack Worne, head of investor relations. Hi guys, how you both doing?
Very good, Simon. Hi there.
Great. Right. We need to help these founders out, guys. So I hope you got some good thoughts for me. But I think start with, probably one for you, Neil. Before a founder even hits send on their pitch, I imagine there's plenty of groundwork they need to be doing, right? I mean, it's not just about having a great deck. It's about making sure it lands with the right people, framed the right way. So can you give us some thoughts on what the key steps founders should take even before they send their deck in?
Yeah, you know what? Hi, Simon. It's a really good question. I think, put this in context, the last thing that a founder should be doing is buying a cold list and undertaking like a spray and pray email approach. That's clearly the last thing which they should be doing. And not only are they going to get no response, they'll actually get negative responses potentially as well, which will put them off their task. And you know what? I think one of the first things that I look for is actually just a little bit of personal curiosity and questioning from the founders. So, some of the best pitches that I've had is when they've almost reversed it and they've actually asked me first, what am I looking for? What is my thesis? What gets me excited about types of technology, markets, stages along a business life cycle. So I guess what I'm saying there is that I'm looking for founders that are A, very curious and have questions, and B, have actually taken an interest in understanding what I've done as an investor in the recent past. So the type of investments that I've done, at what stages, what valuations, what amounts of money that we've invested. Because frankly, if they don't front forward with that, then it's showing a type of characteristic which is not focused. I want people to come to us to work with us specifically because we've got AI, tech, and some particular domain experience. And I want them to show from the very beginning that they want to listen, learn, and question. So if they're not doing that by having a very generic approach to us, then that potentially won't be received that well.
Follow on to that, which one for you, Jack, then is how do they find that kind of it? Where do they go to find out that kind of information about investors?
Warm introductions, always best route. Yeah, I'm getting someone credible to vouch for you. But outside of that, as Neil mentioned, being targeting the right investors and understanding their own thesis. The next level up from that is a personalized, targeted approach. And we've seen some really cool, creative ways that founders have come to us. Short Loom videos where you can put a face to a name. You can understand like the credentials, the credibility, and just get a feel for the founder. Because at the stage we're investing at, it's the founder that leads a big part of the decision-making process. Also, following on from what Neil said, just making sure that the investor you're reaching out to is a good match, and having an understanding of what inspired you to target them in the first place, whether it's some of the deals that they've done, some of the exits, some of the sectors, some of the success stories. That'll always go down well when reaching out and starting that conversation with a potential investor. Outside of that, be clear on your ask. There's a lot of conversations going on, and you just need to make sure that you're finding the right people and you're talking about the same topic. LinkedIn's a big platform to access investors. It's always great to see someone reach out to us with their business and they're already following our activity online. They're engaging in our posts and they're really bought into the fund's goals. Outside of that, we have a platform on our website where you can directly enter a bit of background to the business, upload key documents, and it funnels through our vetting process and enables us to review it internally and reach back out to them at the appropriate time.
Thank you. So that's the sort of really broad a place for them to start. How do you go in cold, but it still feels warm? Because some people have got to do that. They might not. They might think we're perfect for them, but they've never had any direct contact to us. How would they do that?
They demonstrate that they understand who we are, what we're about, our venture studio model. That goes a long way, that they already see the value in our proposition. We just want to make sure that they're reaching out to us in a concise way that's creating a bit of intrigue, maybe a bit of FOMO around the opportunity that'll hook us and get us engaged with them to look deeper.
Cool, brilliant. So, Jack, you and Neil, you've reviewed multiple pitches a month over the last 6 or 9 months. So when a founder sends one over, what's the first thing you look at? You're scanning through it, and you're looking for something. What is it you're looking for initially?
We're scanning through it. I have a technique. We like to read all the headings of each page very quickly, and you should be able to build up a story, a narrative, and understand the business and the value proposition just by doing that. You can then go into the detail on each slide to understand the context and justification on each part. But in short, if it reads well, where you can read all the headings from start to finish and come away having a really good understanding of the value proposition and the business model, that goes a long way. You can understand the story very well.
And is it easier coming in different in a certain format or a certain style, or does that not really matter to you?
I mean, as long as it shows a clear problem and solution, it demonstrates the product market fit. We always look at the founder page, making sure that they're a credible, reputable founder, preferably with track record in sector or as a previous entrepreneur, and also the IP potential, defensibility, and achievements around validating the business and making sure that it's not going to be eating away at competitors from an early stage.
Okay, and then Neil, building on that, as Jack was saying there, the domain experience is really, really important. So we've worked with, or we're talking to a number of founders across different domains. Are there any common themes in those decks, given that they are coming at it from sort of very, very different sort of sector specialisms?
I think, firstly, I'll just echo everything which Jack has just said. I agree with him on all those points. I think let's just step back here for a second. What we're not looking at here is we're not judging the best pitch decks. We're judging the best business opportunity, which makes money for EHE Ventures and our investors. So on that point, anyone can put together a fantastic pitch deck and a financial model. Okay, but what they can't replicate is the personal story and the business backstory for why that idea has been taken up by a founder and why they believe in it and where they're constructing the best technology solution and creating the best team around them to succeed on their journey. That can't be replicated. You can't fake that. You can't chat GPT that. That comes from experience and comes from a little bit of creativity and frankly, character and resilience. So what we're looking for is that combination of, to Jack's point, the conciseness of the problem, the solution, the technology roadmap, the people, and some realistic revenue targets and some fundraising targets. There's a lot of vanilla pitch decks out there. There's a lot of similarity. So the point is you differentiate by making sure that your idea and the presentation of the idea has cut through. It has a North Star, but it also has a pragmatic set of steps to achieve that particular roadmap. And it's driven, again, by that personal, private story as to why people have come to founding these businesses. It's that story which most interests us because fundamentally we're backing the founder and we want to mentor the founder or the founders on that journey. So it's that personal rationale and that personal instinct and ability which we're looking for, frankly, more than a shiny pitch deck. Although clearly that's important because without that, you won't potentially start a fruitful conversation with either us or other VCs.
Yeah, and that makes a lot of sense. So flipping that on its head, what's the mistake you see time and time again that instantly puts you off or tells you that this pitch isn't going to be the one we're going to follow up on?
Yeah, I think going too heavy and ambitious with the financials can be an immediate red flag. Easy reason to walk away at such an early stage. It's just not necessary as well. We want to see growth. We're happy for them to be conservatives as long as the market opportunity is significant. We also, it can be a turn off to see someone with an unrealistic valuation expectation. That can be a real deal breaker and actually a real delay in their fund making process. If they're not so precious about valuation, it just allows them to get funded much quicker and they can go on that journey of growing the valuation back to the potential anyway. So I'd say those are the two key points that can be a bit of a turn off.
And if I can just add to that, Simon, I just think that the mistake which we see time and time again is founders almost thinking that they have to know everything about their business or about the opportunity. We're not expecting them, particularly at pre-seed or early seed level, to have worked out every single dynamic within their business. So, for instance, you're the most effective sales channel or the most effective marketing channel from an ROI perspective. So we're not expecting all the answers. However, what we're not expecting is people to try and fib their way through by making up answers. One of our roles is to help them identify what's those key parts of their business which needs further challenge and hence, further answers to some very key questions. If people don't accept that and don't understand that they are going on a journey with us, which requires them learning from us, listening to us, engaging with us, brainstorming with us, then again, potentially that's not the right type of founder which we want to work for. We want people that understand where they're missing, the gaps they're missing within their business journey at the moment, be it a tech one, be it a people one, be it an IP one, be it a sales and marketing one, and it's our job to work with them as part of the team to plug those gaps. So we're not looking for the perfect business, particularly at pre-seed and seed level.
Okay, so interesting point there, which we haven't really come across, which is so important. It's about people. So how important is it? I guess at pitch deck stage, we don't really know the people, do we? So how important is it that, obviously one of you mentioned Loom videos, how important is it that they try and get across their personality at this stage?
It's a really key part of the investment decision. The founder has to be someone that you can get on with, that you can see the passion in their eyes, and you believe that they can deliver on the plan that they're putting forward to you. So it's a key part, especially at the pre-seed stage, where the business is heavily dependent on them to perform and them to deliver the plan for it to be a success.
Yeah, no, I thought so. Thank you. Right, the elephant in the room. We've got asked this question. We get asked it over and over again. Someone's obsessed over how many slides they should have. So, Jack, come on. Is there a magic number, or does it matter? And does it even matter?
It matters if it's too long. Obviously,
What's too long?
Everyone wants over 20 slides, I'd say,
Right,
is
okay.
too long for a deck, especially in early stage businesses. 10 slides is probably the minimum to cover all the content that you need to outline the business, the opportunity, the proposition, etc. I'd typically say 10 slides of content, and then there might be additional slides thrown in if you've got, product visuals and other aspects of the business that you want to showcase. But I'd say there's always around 10 slides of content that can go into a pitch deck.
Right, there you go. You heard it. 10 slides, no more than 20.
Simon,
Right.
I would just add to that finally, actually, is that it would actually be nice and really quite cut through if someone just sent something very creative over.
Yeah, we don't get much of that at all, do we? We don't get enough of that.
Not enough of that, which is odd. I think that's quite odd, actually, because there's a lot of founders that come out of brand, sales, and marketing backgrounds. So they've actually been trained and have often led some quite large teams doing very creative campaigns on behalf of either a B2C client or a B2B client. But you actually see very, very limited examples of them putting their own experience into practice. So if there's any call out to founders, is that, guys, be creative. Take a bit of a risk, take a chance.
Yeah, I mean, it's marketing at the end of the day, and lots of product businesses have creative ideas on how they can get their product on the laps of potential clients. And, I've seen in the past where someone's created a bespoke box, it's had a screen inside it, it's had a show reel on it, and within it was a printed deck. That's obviously quite expensive to do, but it's quite innovative as well.
But I agree, as you both know, that's my background as well. And I come from a sector where, the pitch is our opportunity to properly sell ourselves. And, if you do that in a conventional way, I'm not doing myself justice.
Yeah.
So,
don't get me wrong. It's brilliant that there are so many accelerators and incubators, etc., which are teaching people the framework for developing pitches or developing business ideas. Absolutely, we need to do even more of that moving forward. However, not to the detriment of creativity and innovation. So at the end of the day, that's actually what we're investing in, eh? We're investing in the people who are creative and the AI and technology, which is breakthrough. So let's see some evidence of that at the very start of the engagement with founders. That would certainly stand out to us.
No, I agree. And I think it's also about balance, though, isn't it? Because, storytelling, we'll say, pitch should have a story, should sort of explain the story behind the idea, as you say, the personal experience of the founder. But investors also need the numbers, don't they? Investors need that level of understanding and confidence that the numbers actually stack up. So how do you balance the two? I mean, Neil, the story matters, but how much does it matter relative to having numbers that stack up?
You're right, Simon, though. It is balance. You need the numbers, you need the tech, you need the people, you need the sales and marketing plan. However, don't be cruel to ask me to put those in order of importance. All I will say is that we are investing in AI technology entrepreneurs. So I think that probably says it all in terms of where our focus is. It's that technology which has the ability through AI and data and all the elements around that to change markets and to create more customer traction through that smart application of new AI technology. That's paramount. Alongside that is the people who are driving that. So the technologist who's in the weeds. I think what an article which Jack and I were reading over the weekend, which was quite amusing, was talking about, how a lot of pitch decks, technology pitch decks, actually don't have technology people on the team. It's an idea, and a sales and marketing person is looking for a VC firm to provide them with money to buy in a tech team. Well, we potentially think that's maybe not the smartest way to go about things. We want to work with tech founders themselves directly, get in the weeds with them through our startup venture studio, startup factory and venture studio. So in summary, it's technology, it's the fundraising journey, as opposed to a 5-year financial plan. It's what do you need to achieve your business growth in the next 18 to, let's say, 24 months. Any other financial model, and Jack knows more about this as a qualified accountant, which talks about how their business will be performing in the next, over a 3 to 4 year period, frankly, is pie in the sky at this stage when we're looking at pre-seed and seed. However, what we want to see is the kernel and the beginnings of that journey in the next 1 year to 18 months. It's that which we back with the smart tech, with the clever sales and marketing and the people to make it happen.
Cool. And I'm going to ask Jack exactly the same question because, as you said, Neil, Jack comes from a more accounting background. So I would imagine it's all about the numbers for you, Jack, isn't it?
No, not necessarily. As Neil said, we tend to focus on the 18 to 24 month plan. There's a lot of key milestones and enablers that get them to that 24 month. And if that's achievable, that's believable, and we understand the roadmap on how they're going to get there, the 3, 4, 5 year forecast takes care of itself. And we've already got the bullish scenario from the founders in the first place. So we just want to focus on how can we de-risk it, what are the key enablers, what are the key levers that they need to hit to make sure that it's going to be a success. And ultimately, the key milestone is at what point can they get break even and self-sufficient without external funding.
Cool, brilliant. So we've gone quite broad. We've talked about before the pitch deck covers in what you do, what sort of broad pitch deck should look like. Let's get down to us now. So as the EHE Venture Studio, what specifically are we looking for?
Yeah, Neil, I'll jump in if that's okay. For our own vetting process, we receive a lot of decks each month, various different sectors. So our core process firstly identifies the AI use case, whether it's an AI first or an AI enabled opportunity, and we'll essentially do a quick assessment of that. So look at the people, the product, scalability, and the exit potential. If those all tick the boxes and we see, we can progress it to a more formal DD process where we do a deeper dive, we engage more with the founders, but also cover additional elements like IP, the business model, a deeper dive on the tech product and understanding what their tech roadmap might look like, but also a deeper dive on the go-to-market, because a lot of these businesses, they might be at MVP stage, they want taking it to market, traction is going to be really, really important, and we need to understand whether they've got a pipeline, whether they've got pilots, or whether they've got signed commercial contracts, because those will play a huge role in not only the trajectory and the timings of that revenue, but also the valuation. Alongside that, we look at the financials, the legal, the risks, make sure that we're assessing the business properly. But alongside that, finally, we look at exit analysis. We look at scenarios of where the potential exit could be, whether that's within the industry that they operate for a trade sale, or through a longer term PE or IPO exit opportunity.
Cool. Thanks, Jack.
All I'd add to that, Simon, is just in regards to your specific elements of your question around the Venture Studio. I think what we'd like to do again, we're not necessarily looking for that fully formed technology solution or AI solution to be there from day one to invest in. Part of our added value and differentiator is our ability to go on that AI development journey with the founders. So we want to be able to see those people who've laid the right foundations, maybe from a POC into an initial light MVP, which they're looking to work with someone to build upon, to a next stage MVP. or a next stage in market product. So it's that element of being at an early stage of the technology journey, which is something which we look at within pitch deck opportunities, because we're excited by the technology, not just from a business perspective or from a venture capital perspective, but frankly, the people are our engineers, our own engineers within the startup factory, which is the engineering part of EHE, want to work on next generation and really innovative technologies. It's a really important element for us to grow our team, to retain our excellent engineers, and to get more people joining the startup factory. So we look for that type of breakthrough, cut-through potential to AI and technology within those decks, because that forms the foundation of that. Those really interesting tech use cases that Jack alluded to a few minutes ago.
Which goes right back to the point you both made at the beginning, which is understand our thesis, understand what we're about, and tailor your pitch deck accordingly. So, in conclusion, if you had one, out of everything we've discussed, you had one golden rule for creating a winning pitch deck, what would it be? One rule each.
I would say don't cram everything you can into the deck. It's quite tempting to push every possible bit of credibility component of the business into the deck, and it can quite easily confuse the solution, whereas you want to kind of keep it as simple as possible and really home in on the key points of the proposition and the solution. And sometimes adding a lot more detail around that can just kind of dilute the impact of the primary solution.
Thanks, Jack. Neil?
I would classically say that if you truly believe in your idea, I've thought about the market dynamics, the technology and the team required to achieve a successful business launch and then business growth after that, you should be able to articulate that within 2 minutes. And if you can't, you need to reflect and reassess the proposition and the pitch for your business. So I guess in summary, I would say, forget the pitch, forget the 10 or 20 slide pitch deck. It's that 2 minute ability to verbalize why you're different, why you, why now, why invest in the tech. If you can't nail that in 2 minutes, reassess.
Oh, brilliant. Right. Thanks very much, guys. I think that's a really, really good intro for anybody looking to create a deck. Some great nuggets. I just think for me, it's about going up and talking to people at events. I've spoken to lots of founders at a number of events over the last few months. And your point's right there, Neil. It's so relevant. Go up, do your pitch, find out what the investor is looking for, and then you can tailor your comms and your follow-up accordingly. I think there's lots and lots to go at, so thanks very much. If you just do the simple things well, it will come back good for you. Right, brilliant. Oh, hang on. I think Neil's got one more thing to say. Neil.
Simon, just to build on what you just said around talking to people, don't be afraid to ask questions. So even from us, if we're not right for you, ask us, who would you recommend that they go to and why? That works for us in our little ecosystem of friendly venture studios and VCs. I think there needs to be more of that happening. So as a founder, don't be shy or afraid to ask that question. I view that, or we view that, as a positive way in which they'd like to conduct their business.
Thanks so much, guys.
Thanks very much.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Fast Growth the Venture Studio Way. If you found this valuable, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with your network. It helps us reach more investors and founders who are serious about building high-growth tech ventures. You can find Fast Growth the Venture Studio Way on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. Want to learn more about EHE Venture Studio and about how we provide tech, funding, and advisory to ambitious startups? Visit www.ehe.ai. Thank you once again, and we'll see you next time on Fast Growth, the Venture Studio Way.